You think of a reel or a social media post like a seed out there, all by itself, doing its job, linked to SEO hashtags and keywords in your post, and depending on what kind of audience you have, seeing the growth, seeing each individual post act like a way to get a client, get the word out about you. So if you're a small business out there, that's what I do. And I love doing it. And I'm good at it. You want to think of those personalities under your roof. The funny guy in the kitchen nobody sees in your restaurant. Film him. Show the people who's cooking their food. You'll get more people. That's the tip for today. Go hiking.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Okay.
The views and opinions expressed on the Morning Wood Show are strictly those of a crazy lady in a tree, and most definitely not the views of military broadcast radio. You've been warned. Proceed with caution. We are not liable if you laugh so hard you fall out of your chair. So grab your spoon, smack that rooster, and let's get this day started right. Let's get ready for the Morning Wood. Cook-a-doodle. Do!
Almost. Sorry, I got that.
But
Good
that
morning.
time.
Good,
That time.
good morning, warriors and patriots. I'm your host, Pat Holly, and this is the Morning Wood Show. This is where we keep it real, right, Joel? Right, H?
Oh yeah. Oh
Right,
yeah.
H? We keep it raw. And you know, today we got a special guest joining us from Juatai, JJ.
JJ, that's what we call him, JJ. I don't even know how to pronounce the. I always thought it was Wu-Tang, but I don't think that's right.
What? So Juatai at the top of the hour, we have a 15-year Navy veteran, author of PTSDog, and a master woodturner. We're going to talk about his journey, and then we got some fun segments. As usual,
Brown zone.
you know our humor. We got HG in the house.
What?
Yep. Thanks for bringing the energy this morning. And we got Welcome.
Yeah, I guess we forgot to do the rise and.
Well, I was kind of distracted. I've been trying to do the intro now, and I'm like, okay, I give up. I'm just gonna lay on my computer.
Well, hey, let's tell the viewers why you is being distracted. Holly has some superb news. She just got she just started this like new job thing, and she's gonna be no
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet. But
okay.
yeah, it's I just started with a new network.
Okay, started with a new network. Okay.
With a new network. It's something called the Skylarverse, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But what I wanted to talk about is Labor Day.
This
right?
Monday,
Labor Day.
September 1st.
Who's got Labor Day off?
I do not.
I do, but it's just because it's one of my normal days off.
I was gonna say, does anybody ever have Labor Day off?
Well,
I feel like unless you work in like an office and you're like on like high up in corporate, which is kind of backwards because like the people that like deserve Labor Day off the least have it off, and then all the people that do the actual like labor that makes things happen in this country have to work that day anyways.
Well, people that are going through labor, they have Labor Day off.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
They
If they're
don't
going
have
through
off
labor on
from
Labor Day.
though,
Right.
which is unfortunate.
So the first U.S. Labor Day parade occurred September 5th, 1882 in New York City. And it was organized by Central Labor Union and Knights of Labor. And it started as a movement where, like you said, HG, us folks were probably, just being worked relentless, but so is the American dream.
Right.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it just doesn't matter. You've got that fear or whatever going on in your heart of, what happens if I do take Labor Day off and I'm normally getting paid that day, or if it's a deemed national holiday, you should get time and a half, right?
Yeah,
Right.
you should. So.
You would think, but I like that you had that outlook. What would be really sick if like all the CEOs and all like the
Right.
big of the big, had to work that day
Make them go work,
for
and we all get to take the day off.
Yeah.
for the lowest man on the totem pole
Lowest
in, their,
man.
in their organization. I'd challenge you there, right?
Mm.
Can you imagine? So if you're the boss,
Well, you know what?
you
I'm a peon. Everybody keeps calling me a boss. I'm a peon, just like y'all. So
You want to know what's crazy to me? I don't know if you guys remember the show Undercover CEO,
yes,
right? Where they would
The
go
undercover boss.
and like basically do the job of like the lowest paid person at their company, and every time they were just awful at it. I mean, they sucked, and they were just terrible. They could barely do it.
Making their trainer mad.
Yeah.
You
And it's like, and then they're gonna just be like, oh wow, like you're just gonna show that you have no capability to do the job, that you have all these people. Then you're like, all right, well I'm gonna go back to making 700 times more than you now.
I can't imagine working at a job where I didn't know who the boss of all the head honcho was. I've always had some reason to like, and I don't know if it's my curiosity. Like even like I remember like one of my first jobs back in the day. My first job was Wendy's.
oh, I did that Wendy's thing.
You did
too.
Wendy's too?
Oh, yeah, it pissed me off.
Ah!
It pissed me off.
I got
Look,
I got fired.
I pretty much got fired. I don't think I lasted more than 4 months there.
Yeah.
You damn chili pot. Oh, I hate them. I hate them. The chili pot now gives me PTSD.
I can't believe you said that because my sisters are like, oh my God, tell the story about the chili pot. So they have these big, giant pots where all the hamburgers that are like not served in a bun
Right.
go into the chili,
Right.
right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then one of the worst things to do is clean the chili pot because you got to get to the bottom and scrub it dub it. So
Right.
I was like 15 years old, super tiny. My dad was dropping me off, and
Oh,
I
you're the smallest
think I
person,
remember
so.
like my feet.
And they don't have dishwashers at Wendy's. You're like, let's be so damn strict, be a military thing, and don't even have dishwashers.
I mean,
That
I'm
is
sure
insane.
a lot has changed since we. Oh, I don't want
I don't
to.
know.
Hey, Wendy's, put you on
Man.
blast.
I
Yeah.
don't
The
know.
one thing I'll give you, Wendy's, is you've got some funny social media.
That's true.
That's
Killing
all.
That is, their Twitter, their X is on
Well, I mean,
fire.
they kind of started the whole like
The
corporate I don't know what the terminology for it is. I'll just like corporate people posting like more like satire, corporate satire posting basically. It was really Wendy's was the start on Twitter, and now like a bunch of companies they just copy the motto and they just have the social media person post like it would be they're just on like a normal account with obviously some parameters.
I had my boss when I was working at Wendy's. I remember kind of like my dad was kind of adding to my attitude a little bit. He was like, I'm 15. I wasn't old enough to drive yet, and he had to drop me off, pick me up. we were good like 20 minutes, away. And my boss, and I'm Smiley, my boss,
Right.
when I was in the back and I was like hanging in the chili pot.
Right.
And I remember coming back up for air, and she says, "We here at Wendy's smile." And I was like, oh, you want me to smile while I'm face deep in this chili pot? I was like, what's your excuse? And she was like, give me your visor and your apron. And I was like,
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
I got fired. But I've always gone out. I've always gone out with, a mic drop.
Right. I would have gave her the visor.
How'd you get fired?
How did I get fired?
Yeah.
It was 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and it was just like that clip that I was gonna play. I don't know why it is, but people show up at when you're getting ready to close within like 2 minutes. And I'm like, I saw these people coming. I'm like, no. I got high school in the morning. This is not working. This is not working. We already closed up shit, and they're coming in like 2 minutes prior. And I'm like, no, So I locked the dining room door, and then these guys come in. And they're like, hey, you guys open? No.
Door's locked, buddy.
It says blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I got this. He's like, I got 1 minute. And I'm like,
1 minute.
And I'm like, oh, sorry. This mug calls corporate. And then corporate calls, and they're like, you closed the dining room 5 minutes early. It was 2 minutes, but okay. And, well, we have policies over there. And I'm like, dude.
So that guy also called corporate and lied too.
He was calling to get free shit. That's what he was doing.
Well,
Called
then he
corporate and
lied
lied.
and like made
He
it
said
seem
he-
like way worse than what you did. You just locked the door like 2 minutes early.
A couple minutes early.
HG, what was your first job?
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Oh. Mine was at
Colorado.
Lakeside Amusement Park
Oh,
in
that's right.
Colorado. Old place. I got paid $9 an hour, and I got only paid in cash in these weird little brown envelopes. That's how like old their systems are. They don't even have like checks or anything. They just give you cash.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, then I don't know if I'm. Part of me might like that.
It feels like a job from the 70s, man. My first job, I made $9.50 an hour.
Yeah.
God, I think I was like
Yeah, I
5.
think I was what I made when I started.
I
at Chipotle.
detasseled. That was my first job. I detasseled, and Wendy's was still worse than that.
I was at
Fast food always sucks.
my
I
next
worked at
job after that
McDonald's
was a
for-
gas station laundromat.
Man.
Combination gas
Station laundromat, and I loved it.
That sounds like a
It was
cool
just
combo,
me.
honestly.
Right.
You need quarters? You need gas?
You
Yeah.
need a pillow fluff.
The name of it was called the Easy Stop.
Okay.
So I got hassled a little bit for that. I mean, that was my favorite, one of my favorite jobs. And then Blockbuster Video.
Oh. R.I.P. Blockbuster.
We're relics, aren't we?
Yeah.
That sucks.
R.I.P.
I used to sit in the
Blockbuster.
drop box because I was so tiny. And when a particular or somebody we knew was coming back to put their videos in, I would push them back out at them, and then they could like pull up the little thing and like look at me like, what are you doing in there, Holly? Blockbuster Video was epic. We used to put on South Park and clean and close. It was a
Sweet.
big
MJ
That
says
back.
it ain't easy being easy.
it ain't
Right.
I'm pretty sure it ain't easy being cheesy, but
it ain't easy.
it ain't
You'd
easy.
be like, oh, I hear Holly's easy. I'm
You could
like,
just-
well, if you need gas or quarters. Sure. I got this. But there's a lot of stuff going on in
Yeah, there
Denver for Labor Day. We have some major events.
Mhm.
We have the Taste of Colorado. Have any of you ever done the Taste of Colorado?
Yes.
That is a fun little festival.
I've
Yeah.
done the Taste of Aspen also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way when they have the winter sports clinic up in Snowmass for the veterans, they have a little like Taste of Aspen.
Oh,
Taste
really?
of
Yeah.
Aspen.
Mhm.
So let's see. Expect over 50 local food booths, multiple musicians, stages, arts and crafts, family-friendly activities. So Taste of Colorado. Yeehaw. Where? I know, I'm looking. So that's going to be in downtown Denver's Civic Center Park.
Oh, cool.
And then we have Elitch Gardens theme park. They're going to have fireworks on the 31st at 9 p.m.
Okay.
as the park closes for the season. So
I know.
if
It's
you
winter time.
if you have gone a summer without a roller coaster ride and hands up, I suggest you Tonto jump on that. Speaking of roller coaster rides, do you remember the name of your first roller coaster?
Yeah, the Scrambler.
The Scrambler?
Yeah.
Scrambler?
I only remember it because evidently when I was a kid, I thought that if I cried real loud, they would stop the ride. Yeah, they didn't do that. And all that the ship one that goes up and down. Yeah, I cried on that. In fact, I finally passed it by not crying and going through the whole scene. Yeah, when I got out of got out of AIT for the Army, that was the first thing that I would do. Because when you go through Army and you get out of AIT, you're like, I can conquer the world. I've got the world by its balls. And then
World's a he?
then when you get to your duty station, you find out you're holding your own. So it's a unique learning experience.
First roller coaster ride, HD.
I don't remember.
You don't?
No, I've been on a lot of roller coasters. I really like them. So I can narrow it down to it was maybe either at Elitch's or one of the boardwalks out in Jersey. Probably like Sandy Point or something, Point Pleasant. That was what it was called.
All right, caveman, save him.
Probably one of the ones at what's that old white roller coaster at Elitch's?
Oh, the Twister.
That's probably one of the first ones I
Twister?
got on. Twister, yeah.
Mine-
They rebuilt it though. That's Twister 2 or something.
Mine
like
was
that.
Darien Lake in New York. That is now in Elitch's. And it was the Viper. And I went on with my mom. My mom, who is like this sweet thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, the one thing I really remember about my mom, young, is people just staring at her because she was so beautiful.
Mhm.
And we get on this roller coaster ride. And the first loop, oh my goodness, I have never heard somebody cuss so much. My mom cussed like crazy, screaming, you name it. Every naughty word came out of her mouth. And I think I was just tall enough to make it. And
He's probably like just 7 or 8.
I can't get that memory out of my head. And then of course when the ride ended, she was back to this sweet little thing. And I just was like, whoa. Well, I didn't even have time to be scared.
Right.
I remember going through the first loop and hearing my mom cuss so much that I was like so entertained. I'm like, this is beep, 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 beep. I'd like to say it, but we can't. But
Not all the words.
she said everything. She taught me a lot that day. So, should we break it down now?
Break it down now. Yes, we should. Hit that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. We're going to go on break. And when we come back, we'll be hitting the What the segment. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. Don't go back to bed. It is the Morning Wood Show right here on the station that's letting our veterans be heard. It is MBR. Rise and fizzle.
I wish there was some place that I could go where I got the promise to never be alone. These bars all have last call and my friends, they ain't home. could go. With a heartache this big, a bottle this small, I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. When she walked out of my life, I nearly broke down, drowning my heartache in every bar in this town. Sooner or later, they all closed the doors, and I was left playing guitar at home on the floor. With a heartache this big, a bottle this small, I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. With a heartache this big, a bottle this small, I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. Yeah, they never have last call and play good old tunes. Staring out this hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. They say it's all inside, heaven and hell. What happened to that angel when he fell? Give it just one try. Tell me you don't like it, outside and breathe. Play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move one from over there. Give the kids a little scare. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Right and sizzle.
We are back on the morning. Welcome to the morning. Well, thanks for hanging out with us on the Morning Wood Show.
You better be awake.
You better be awake.
Better be. Well, you know, everybody's probably kind of crashing in because it's a 4-day weekend. Labor Day is Monday, you know? And what are you going to be doing on Labor Day?
Why does everybody have today off?
Well,
Because Labor Day is Monday.
Labor Day is Monday.
Yeah, Labor Day is Monday.
We were here during the first half. We
Well,
lost
why,
you.
Why does everyone have today off?
Because
Well,
some
it's a normal
people
Friday.
have really good, nice jobs. That's why.
I think
Right.
discussion was not everybody
Right.
has the day off, but you know, we think it would be
Lucky.
cool if you know the CEOs worked, and then everybody else had the day off.
I was just making sure I
Right.
didn't miss like a holiday or something today that I didn't
Just
know about.
that's what happens when you blink, man. I was like, what? Just, ah.
Oh, it's Leif Erikson Day. That's why everyone has today off.
But if you're following us on Facebook, yeah, give us some woot woot. If you're on YouTube, please
Sub
hit
button.
those thumbs.
Hit those
Twitch.
subscribes.
Hit those
Help our
thumbs.
self-esteem beat that screen.
Give us a share on X as well.
Yeah, give us a share. What else can we say?
if you're watching on the Jeremy Renner app, make
Yeah,
sure
if
you
you're
give
on
it
the
a
Jeremy
Hawkeye.
Renner app.
Wait,
How do you know about? How do you know about?
wait. So we're on Roku.
Yeah.
We're on Star Radio.
Yeah.
We're on
TV radio.
DV Radio, Facebook.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of people hanging out with us today.
And
So
we're
let
on-
us know if you've got Monday off.
And we're on Internet Radio Network as well.
Wow. So we're
We're everywhere.
we're cooking on all cylinders.
Yeah. We're more popular than Davy Crockett.
Should we hit a segment?
Hit the segment.
Which
Matter
one?
what the?
What
Yeah.
Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this?
Uh-huh.
That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
No? Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
I'm not having relations with my husband until he agrees to this three-way. So there's this guy that I work with. He's super attractive, super handsome, and he came up to me and he asked me if I would be interested in dating him. I told him that I'm married, and he came up with the idea that maybe we could have a three-way. So I went home and I proceeded to tell my husband about it and ask him if he wanted to have a three-way with this guy that I work with. He said no, and I don't really think that's fair. He expressed to me that he doesn't want to have relations with anybody else, and he doesn't want me to have relationships with anybody else. And I think that that is extremely selfish of him to not want to do that. So I have decided that until he says yes, I am not going to be romantic with him. I have decided to pack up most of my things and sleep in the other room and make that room my room until he agrees to do that. I don't think that I'm being dramatic, and I just think that he's being extremely selfish.
That was
the biggest what though we've ever had. Honestly.
That has to be.
That's got to be fake.
Joel, did you pick that?
I picked it.
That's got to be fake.
Well, you know, look, it's either it was between either this or the whole Crackle Barrel thing, and everybody knows about the Crackle Barrel thing, and I'm like, oh, this could be.
No, this is really a what the.
Yeah,
this is a good one.
Yeah,
what?
Right. So
what's happening?
I just can't believe that's real. The way she's like, it seems scripted, that like she's reading off a script or something.
Okay.
That's got to be rage bait. I can't. There's no way that's real.
I got one thing to say, but then I have to back it up before you guys judge me.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
You got the floor.
Now you know why I've never been married.
Because she hasn't found the right wood. Go ahead.
And it's not because I want to. And it's good. Watch out. There might be somebody in this network did not like what you just said.
Yeah, probably.
Just kidding, contract. So just kidding.
Oh boy. Right the sizzle.
So that's insane on so many levels. And I like right away that K-Van's like, if that's real. You think she's doing it just to get views?
You know,
some people do that, honestly. Some people post relationship stuff and
outlandish things.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is sometimes they do that stuff to get views, but like it's real time. Like this shit is legit. Like it is happening. First of all, I feel bad for her husband. You know, I'm sure he's going to keep that recording because that's perfect evidence for the divorce lawyer. You know, and I mean,
the stream.
You know, it's like this is what I don't get. All right.
Oh.
Social media has really turned the corner here nowadays. Social media used to be about, you know, taking pictures and sharing your family and sharing the times that you have with loved ones and stuff. You know, I mean, we used to give people shit about taking pictures of their food and other things. You know, I kind of rather have food pictures rather than a bunch of different like posts. You know, hey, there's no toilet paper. I'm using my socks. What? And then you know they send you a message behind. Hey, you remarked on my post. Let's play a game. Let's not play a game. You know, I didn't know it was a game. You know what I'm talking about. You know, and it's like. This is ridiculous.
It's extreme.
It is. Well, what's extreme is the whole Crackle Barrel thing. What the Crackle Barrel thing this whole week was the CEO, that woman, like, she is a genius. She is a genius. You can't tell me from the last 5 years, Crackle Barrel has been irrelevant. They probably haven't got any business. And I guarantee you, because of all this backlash, especially with the White House, you know, putting their nose into it. How much do you want to bet now? If you go to a Crackle Barrel, it's going to be really hard to get into to eat this weekend, just because of all the commotion and stuff. Because, like I told Caveman, what happens when somebody dies in skydiving? The next day is their busiest day.
What?
Yeah.
I know. I'm afraid.
I don't know about that.
I'm blocking that one.
They told me. They told me. I'm talking from the source. They told me. I'm not making stuff up.
So here, it's a publicity stunt.
Yes,
you know?
I think so.
I feel like that's kind of what this video is.
A publicity stunt?
Yeah. There's like a lot of people will see the real thing and they will like kind of make their own video to kind of like make a mockery of it.
It's a reaction. Yeah.
But like some people will kind of understand that it's a joke. This doesn't really seem like a joke though. This kind of seems like she just wants to make people mad.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look at the comments, the reason why I say that I think it's real is usually when it's like a planned skit thing or whatever, and it gets out of hand, they delete the post. They haven't deleted this post yet. I mean, you should read some of the comments. In fact, sometimes I just go on social media just to read the comments because the comments are better than the content itself.
Yeah, I find myself doing that from time to time.
What were you gonna say about that video, though, Holly? What was your thought on that?
My thought, it was, the reason why I've never been married is because I've seen at the rate humans change, right?
Right, Susan.
And the thing that you see I've got a tattoo on my hand, right?
Yeah.
Or on my ring finger.
Right.
Yet never married. The thing that I loved so much about this tattoo, so I don't know if you would call that close to being married or not, but never officially married, is if you lose the ring, you can't take your ring off, can't wash it off. So to me, that was like the most loyal thing that you could do to another human. So I have another human out there, he's still alive. I'm surprised. That has the other half of this tattoo. But like I said, at the rate people change and, discussions in the beginning and when you're starting a relationship, do you want kids? Like what kind of living situation do you want to be in down the road? Do you want to be in, when our knees start hurting, should we get a 1 level? So we don't want to truck it up and down the stairs. I like to garden. Like it's one of those things where in my experience where I just see people change right now at such an alarming rate that I don't think I'll ever be married. But I also don't think that's for me because I want someone to, you want to double this tattoo? You want to fill it in a little bit?
Right.
But a lot of people would say, no, I'm not getting a tattoo. Then take a hickey hikey.
Well, the worst.
You can take your ring off. But for me, so if you're curious about the one that's still alive, he's remarried.
Yeah.
He's remarried in a different state. He still has trauma from the stuff I've said to him. You guys know it. But he's a good human. Don't hate him.
Right.
And he evolved on a different path.
Well, sometimes you learn, and like I always call it.
You're married. Married, and you are one loyal sucker, and your wife is super lucky.
Yeah.
And to see the two
Well, we're
of
both
you,
lucky. We're both lucky. Yeah. We're both lucky.
To see the two of you work as a team too. Dig it. I dig it.
Well, and what I was going to say is when people get married, I call it a starter marriage. Everybody has a first marriage. Everybody has a starter marriage. And one of the reasons why I think starter marriages fail is because, and I've been there, you think that automatically when you get married, okay, I go to work, I come home, the house better be clean, there should be food on the table, blah, blah, blah. And you stereotype the way a marriage should be because you're implanted when you're with mom and dad, however their marriage is, you think that's how your marriage is supposed to be. Just like if you went to church and you was a certain religion, and
whatever experience you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I always tell people before you get married, the number one thing is before you get married, find out how their upbringing was, because unfortunately, if their upbringing was different than you guys are going to hit a wall.
I just don't think it should be a government investment.
It shouldn't be. And
I think
it should be a lot cheaper to get divorced and
think-
married.
I think, and I'm gonna be honest, because I literally got to the point with my last relationship. It's probably watching.
They always do. They always do.
Because I was like, so when you're investing your time and you could be doing something else, right? And I'm not saying that like go hang out with somebody else. You could be doing more, like more invest in on your career path,
Yeah.
right? Or take yourself to the next level. Now, if you're investing time in someone that you're not sure where their head is,
Right.
how do you feel?
You feel like you're putting in 80 and they're only putting in 20.
But how do you feel? Do you feel like, is this just because, I mean, I know I'm so much fun, or we're pretty unique individuals, but for me, right? I said there needs to be some sort of contract. There needs to be a contract between us two. And then guess what? So you've got marriage. You've got like Holly and the tattoo. And then when I get to the point of contract, and that's what I mean, like who is really invested, like in today? But think about beyond marriage. Think about when you hire somebody like these two over here.
And I think
invested buddies.
And whenever I hear somebody talking about like contracts, and whenever I see like the thing comes up, hey, our user agreements have changed. The first thing I think is well, somebody screwed up. Because people use contracts because they've been hurt before. That's the reason why people use contracts. I hate contracts. In fact, I was telling my wife this a long time ago. If there's a individual that like they have to see your phone, or they have to know where you are at all times, and if they're like trying to catch you cheating on them, I hate to tell you, but that relationship's gone already.
Yeah, that freaks me out, honestly.
Yeah.
When people are like that, I feel like genuinely scared for
Right.
my own safety. Like I feel like I'm gonna get tied up in their basement and like never be seen again.
He likes the lotion.
Yes, that's what it reminds me.
Puts the lotion on its stick.
Like they're obsessed with you.
Again.
I don't.
But I mean, that's just my opinion, and I encourage everybody that's under 25 to wait, because that person they're not going anywhere. You can
I just wouldn't get married,
right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But there is like I said, and for me, the contract would have I would have felt like we can have an argument, right? And you ain't gonna beat feet, you little wah. Like it's gonna be something where like people are gonna keep evolving, right? Especially if you're under new challenges and new pressures, and they're right. Do you feel like the people that are around you understand everything that you're battling?
I think to a point, but I try to keep that stuff, inside me, because I truly believe, because I've been through it. When your peace is bothered, or when you experience trauma, you shouldn't bother somebody else's peace. That's something that you should work on. I last weekend I had some trauma. We all know that. And I had a host reach out, and like they were upset about something, and I'm like, okay, look, please don't respond to me. Let's put this on the shelf. This isn't going to go anywhere. I promise we'll talk about this, but today's not the day.
That's how you do it.
And I expressed it just like that, and they came at me, and I'm like, okay. After somebody, especially now, if it would be one thing if I like walked away, or if I really avoided you or something like that, I would understand. But I think I'm one of those guys, when you have an issue, like I like to address it front forward, and get it out of the way, because all arguments and all fights are not knowing the other person's point of view. That's what it is. Because if you tell the other person your point of view, because something in your mind, it tells that you have a bunch of different scenarios, and it just keeps on working in your mind. And until you like find out, you know, you don't want to make a decision with emotion.
You understand yourself.
Mhm.
So even you expressing, let's put it on the shelf, because you're still digesting it. Right.
Yeah.
You've got that. You've got the people out there too that completely avoid even that part. So
Mhm.
you've got the person like, oh my God, what is that? And I can't, like, there's absolutely no communication, right?
Right.
That's abuse. That's abuse, right?
Mhm.
If you can't explain that you need a breather, you need to go into the smoke room, however you need to say it, put it on the
Right.
shelf.
Right.
You know, I'm going to be in the bathroom for a while.
Mhm.
Like, and
Something.
I'm curious about, you know, our listeners out there, because, you know, I know, I know a lot of married people, and the thing that, like, I am curious about is, do you really understand, you know, do you really understand your partner's, like, his complete, like, everything he's dealing with? And I'm not saying, like, you know, if you have a partner that's, you know, working for a high powered something,
Mhm.
you know there's got to be a decompression period, right?
There is, and it's really hard when you're married, because not only do you change, but they change too. There was a time that my wife never drank coffee, and after a certain age, now she's like drinking coffee. Well, she calls it coffee. I call it cappuccino. You can only put so much cream in it before it calls coffee. Okay, and when she drinks this coffee and we're working stuff.
She's experienced the zip.
Yes, she's experienced the zip. Well, I'm telling you, my wife thought that I was funny when we got married. Now she just finds me annoying. So that's just how marriage is. But the important thing is two things. Number one, like my grandfather always said, just make sure that your wife wants to divorce you a different day that you want to divorce her, and you guys will be together forever.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And then second of all, you have to respect each other's changes. Like, I don't talk to my wife about the army stuff really, okay? Because I don't feel that she really comprehends it. And unless you was military, you don't comprehend it. And for like the longest time, the last month or so, I even told you, like, battle buddies don't talk. Well, the reason why battle buddies don't talk and like reminisce about stuff is because they don't want that stuff going around in their head.
Yeah.
And then
They want to quiet that.
picking up breadcrumbs. And then that's the reason why most of the military guys can't sleep at night. It's not because, we're looking at porn or, talking to other people. Like, my wife knows that I would never cheat on her, because look at what I do all day. Okay. All right. I draw ducks, okay? Nobody wants to be with somebody that draws ducks, all right?
So for me, like, going through my healing process in my last chapter, I'm like, how do I do this differently? How do I do this where I'm entertained and there's some sort of a publicity stunt to it, right? Where the person or the potential has to understand everything that I do. I don't think a lot of people understand what I do. Like, my son does, his girlfriend does,
They understand because they see.
They see me.
They
Well,
see you.
Uncle B's like, are you still working? My life away. But I launched an upcoming podcast. But this is what I'm looking for. But I am not dating anybody until certain things are facilitated, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need small business owners, bars, you name it, anybody to want to donate a space, food, a signature beverage. And I've launched 11 first dates, where I'm going to go on 11 dates, and then the 12th date is going to be a callback.
Okay, so
who gets the second?
whoever won is the last one.
So I have a therapist on board. So I'm gonna do a TikTok live during the date. I'm also gonna have a therapist play back the date and be like, "All right, Holly, we're gonna have to talk." That one had like 3 red flags and 0 green, But there's a whole lot of stuff that they have to do. One, they have to fill out a Google form, which so far I've had so much, "Oh my God, I want to date you. Oh my God, I want to date you." And I'm like, then fill out that Google form.
Right.
Guess how many people have filled out the Google form?
0. 0. That's like, how many people call into the radio number? 0. How many people text me? 37. It's what people are familiar with. They don't work protocol. They work, But hey, I tell you what, before we have our guest on, because it's almost top of the hour, instead of us going on break, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play Dropping the Log.
Drop it.
All right.
Drop it.
I don't say please, I don't say thank you, I just do what I want. And if you want to get with me, you better have what I want.
Gen X Rise.
Oh, you don't like me? That's fine. Okay, bye.
What is your go-to face to ruin a photo?
There's also Mousy. Oh, wait. No, this one's better. I'm going to finish the rest of the interview like this.
Attention movie lovers, if you see my popcorn flying in the air, please don't be startled. Thank you.
That was
I got one little girl going, "Hi," just like Martha. What's her name? Like Shanane. Hey.
I'm gonna finish the rest of the podcast like that.
Yes. Can you put your lip curl it up?
Wait. I don't know if I want to try to do her mouse. Oh, that was a noise. It sounded like a toilet time. But then I thought was so funny. Are you guys aware of the Gen X movement on TikTok?
I am. Yeah.
That's kind of that's a little old, I feel like.
What? Easy.
Well, no, I just mean like I remember it, but it was like that was a big thing going on last year.
I apparently didn't notice it until this year.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's still pretty funny.
I haven't really.
Well,
been
what
TikTok
cracks
much
me up
this year.
is that like Eminem released an album. It was like, and then like in one of his songs, he just said, "You gotta like Gen Z me," and like apparently they took that up as like a call to arms against Gen Z because Eminem said they were gonna cancel him, and like nobody said that they were like nobody
does
in their right mind suggested canceling Eminem. That was like that was a thing they just made up and formed a movement around.
So
they just
everything
created this
marketing,
artificial conflict.
everything marketing wise right now, they want to pretty much market to millennials, right?
Right.
So when I saw the millennial cringe, like this new thing that's rocking. I don't know, is it new or is it a year old? It gets to be about a year later.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps popping up. It's like a returning trend.
But you're right. They have to market to this generation.
The one that's
this
savvy.
This generation is what's going to be feeding them. Us, like us, Gen Xers. I mean, thanks to COVID, we're dying every day now. For the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, if you're not aware of it and you are Gen X, like TikTok is you post something and you put a little red X on there. You're going to have all these Gen X people. Every time I get into my TikTok now, I've got 5, 6. 20 like new followers, and of course they're all Gen X. The only thing I wasn't gonna do was change my profile name with an X in it.
Well, who couldn't like your post? I mean, we have Broadcast Beaker the Duck going against, what is his name? Ralph the Rooster?
Oh, that was pretty funny. I didn't name him yet.
So
I'm sorry, Rooster.
You gotta name him. You gotta name him.
Okay,
At
well,
least before the fight.
Maybe we can put that to vote.
Oh yeah.
You guys have any
what did you end up
ridiculous
naming the
names?
spoon?
So you know the show, like we like poop humor.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know, when you're naming this rooster, like morning duty. Good morning, duty. Okay, so I got duty. Do you guys have any names for a rooster that has poop humor involved?
I can't say it.
I would call
once we go on break, it's hilarious.
Oh,
I'll tell you.
I'm thinking the Red Rooster.
Say peacock and nobody bats an eye.
The Red Rooster?
Yeah, the Red Rooster. He used to be a wrestler.
I'm going with duty. What do you think, HG?
Is Colonel Cock too?
I think I have a hard time saying that word without
I'm afraid we're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know if that's one of the words in my name.
I mean,
sometimes on radio I feel like Leon Phelps now. Hey, am I gonna say something wrong?
That is what you would call a rooster. That's another name for a rooster.
No, I'm just saying.
You're essentially calling him Colonel Rooster.
I don't think I could say that with a straight, a straight face. So it'd be really hard. But
isn't that the point, though?
It is.
Every time you say it, you give a glib little smirk, like. And now,
have you seen
Colonel
my Colonel? What? Oh, Colonel, like a Colonel Corn.
No, the rank
like
in the
military rank. Yeah.
Oh well, I was thinking because roosters eat kernels, like Colonel.
Could be.
Don't feel bad. I thought that for the longest time.
Double meaning.
Yeah. There you go. It's got double meaning right there.
What if we just call him Colonel to keep from blushing? I like Colonel. Have you seen Colonel?
What's the?
I like short and sweet. So my dog's name is Sweepy, and everybody calls her P. My poor uncle's like, can you change your dog's name? I'm going out at like 3:00 in the morning yelling P.
I mean, think about this. You got Colonel Sanders who fries chicken, a rooster, male chicken. So it's got a triple meaning.
Wow.
With the Colonel there. Although the third meaning's a little, you kind of have to dig deep for that one. But
the third meaning?
Only those other philosophical will really get that one, but we'll know.
What's what we got something in chat and we're gonna decode it.
Yeah, I don't know what chat.
And if we have no idea what's going on, we're gonna have fun with it.
Well, now remember we're gonna have to go on break here pretty soon because what we didn't tell you or what we told you, and we're just reminding you, is that we have one of, I mean, not only is to me he's a radio legend because he's on TV radio as well, but this guy, he is a legend when it comes to woodworking. Some of the stuff that he does, it's immaculate. It really is. It really is. And I can't wait.
Stuff.
I can't wait to meet him in person. One of these days, he'll do me the honor and meet me because he's a good human. He really is. Him and Bo. So I'm really excited to.
So yeah, we have JJ from Juatai coming on, and I was so excited to get his email of yes in his outreach, and I am always over the moon when people have YouTube and have all the socials. So the first thing I did when I saw this email was like, yeah, the savvy one. So yeah, we're gonna go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna have JJ and his woodcraft art with Juatai.
So whatever you do.
Spent my youth sitting in a Sunday school. Learned about forgiveness and the golden rule. Someone does you wrong, you turn the other cheek. But I can't hear another of your apologies. Been a couple years since I made it back. Now I pray in a bar
the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the fray, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the home of the
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you're listening to the Morning Wood Show right here on the station that's Letter and Veteran Voice to be heard, MBR. And let me tell you, this guy is a legend. This guy is a legend, okay? He and Bo and a selective other few, they do a regular program that helps veterans as well. And they are ones that inspired me to start doing like podcasting and stuff. Okay, so they're OGs. And then on top of that, I think this might be the first time I've ever seen you, JJ, on TikTok. Not on TikTok, but here. He doesn't get up for everybody, Holly. He doesn't get up for everybody. I'm telling you.
Way to rise and sizzle. How do you pronounce your first name?
Joaquin Juatai.
Joaquin Juatai. That's where the Juatai comes from.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, I did phonetic spelling of my last name because anybody who reads it goes, huh? So,
I was asking Joel, I was like, how do you pronounce his first name? He was like, there's a reason why we call him JJ. So thank you so much for rising and sizzling this morning with us. How's your coffee?
I've been up since 5. So
have you?
Yeah.
And where's your neck of the woods?
I'm in North Carolina. Actually, just about an hour and 20-minute drive away from where Bo lives.
So it's almost lunchtime for you.
It is. It is.
All right.
I already had my coffee and all that good stuff.
So if you could share with us, if there's anything that you're excited about, like upcoming right now, and I have had the luxury to go in and look at your website and see your TikToks and your YouTube, and you're savvy.
I try. I'm savvy, but I'm also frustrated.
Yeah.
You got to understand. I programmed my first web page on a green screen in 1990.
Wow.
And like my website is I'm working on upgrading to Shopify website, and the interfaces and stuff compared to writing HTML 1.0 on a green screen in 1990, it's gotten way past me. So I'm struggling with that, because where I'd really like to be is behind my lathe and doing all this social media stuff. I do the best I can, but it gets overwhelming. You notice it's been a hot minute since I've made a YouTube video. And it's not that I don't want to, it's just that I get more value out of just making stuff round on the lathe than I do sitting and filming and editing. And if I had a partner, somebody who could come over and man the camera and get the angles and help with that, it would make things a lot easier, and it'd probably be a lot more productive.
He's a hype man.
Have you thought, well, what about making a TikTok about that?
Well, and I might do, and I've got there are some craftspeople local to me who I do collaborations with, and I might be able to enlist and kind of revamp and retool things. Absolutely. But we're all out here grinding, doing our own thing. So it takes from their schedule to help me, and I'm more than willing to give up time from my schedule to help them. But we're all also, my circle is all veterans, and so we're all dealing with all that VA stuff and everything on top of it. So it's challenging just to mesh schedules. And if we, I'm actually doing a collaboration with a blacksmith right now. He lives 40 minutes south of me. His car registration is expired. He just got a car, and the title hasn't been signed over. And it's like all this nonsense where he could jump in his car and run up here and give me a hand for, an afternoon if his car was registered. And I could go get him if my truck was running. It's just all this life gets in the way, and it makes it really challenging. But at the same time, there's a lot of connection and a lot of mutual support, especially in the veteran crafts persons community. And all of us are willing to drop everything and come help each other if we're not so stubborn that we don't ask.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Absolutely.
But where you're going to get more out of marketing what you do and what you need right now, the thing that I like to do is find a goofy trend and I'm saying goofy because I mean it. But if you've seen the TikTok trends where you're doing everything, person's like spinning around, like I can see you spinning around in the chair in your woodwork area. I'm the craftsman. I'm the master craftsman. I'm the this. I'm the this. I'm the editor.
Oh yeah.
I'm the producer. I'm the this. I'm the this. I'm the mechanic. I'm the.
That takes too much thought. I mean, that's just too much work. I'd rather just shoot a video of how I make something. You know what I'm saying?
But if you,
I get that, the trends, and that gets people's attention. But that's not what I want to get people's attention. I want my work to.
But my point is, it's the art, the audience you're tying into. Because if I was a young somebody, right, I'm going to be watching all that corny stuff, the trend stuff. But there's got to be a youngster out there somewhere that just, college is not for them. College is not for them, and maybe wherever their parents are trying to push them or whatever they're fighting, and a lot of people want to trade or are artists by nature, and they're getting ready to discover that. But the way of discovering this particular person now is different. So seeing you, like, and I hear you. I'm not sure if you've seen my I do some stuff, but the thing that I've benefited from is people reaching out to me. I have a friend that I met on TikTok.
Right. Yeah.
That when I don't have time to post and I'm up here and things to do as you are, right? When I'm up here, she's like, "Oh, did you see my post? I tagged you. You can just repost it." And I'm like, "Oh, sweet. I got something for today."
Yeah. And so part of the challenges I'm dealing with right now, I just had my left knee replaced just over 5 weeks ago. And this week, finally back into the shop on a daily basis, which my wood shop is my mental health. And so it's been really frustrating basically being on house arrest for the last month.
Yeah.
And so one of the, that's one of the challenges that I've been dealing with is trying to keep something on posted every day. When I am at full strength, I turn daily and I stream live almost every day. And lately, they've done something to the algorithm. I've streamed 3 times this week, and all 3 times I had more than 400 or 500 people in the audience, which is really something's changed, because when I stopped streaming before surgery, I was having 150, 200 in the audience. And all of a sudden that's kicked up. And I'm not sure if it's just, if the algorithm has changed or if there's been a shift in who's seeing I'm not really sure what's changed, where this week I'm getting almost twice as big an audience.
Well, you said you even paused for a while, and if we've learned anything from Crackle Barrel, you can do nothing, absolutely nothing, for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then come back, and then I don't know if it's people are nosy and they want to hear where you've been or stuff, but
yeah.
They miss your work. I mean,
yeah.
I know every day when I wake up, the one thing that I know is that you're always spinning that wheel at like 5:30 a.m. and I'm always watching it,
Yeah.
And there's stuff that you can do that there's no way that I could do. I mean, the carving and the maneuvering, like, I don't know if he has like a spoon or what it is, but he'll like stick it in and they'll make these lines. I mean, my signature looks like I had a seizure. I can't do the detail stuff.
Well, and that's one of the focuses that I have put into my art is finesse, is to be to learn the techniques that make my work the absolute best that you've seen. And that's always what I'm striving for. I'm not claiming to be better than anybody else. My goal is that my piece is the best that you've seen, the best that, so every time I get behind the lathe, I'm doing the best that I can to make the best product that I can. And a lot of that started with understanding technique. I spent probably 4 or 5 years just focusing on developing the technique that would get me from the ability to make, I have my first lidded box, and it's sad. It's compared to what I'm able to make now, that is very much an amateurish piece.
You should see his cups.
But
I've seen it.
Let's pull up the
I
website.
can compare though. What I can compare though, what that piece was to what I'm able to do and create now. And the difference is night and day. So I do that. I do that regularly. I look at what I just pulled off the lathe and I think about that box. I've got some of my first bowls. And again, my goal always is that this piece is better than the last piece.
And I like that you keep your first piece. Like, what a reminder of your evolution, right?
Well, it really is. And a lot of what a lot of woodturners do is not very original. You can only make a bowl so many ways. So instead of, and I'm not saying that bowl turners, that people who turn bowls exclusively are not beautiful artists and do not create great work. There's a turner on TikTok, Andrew McCarn, who lives about 45 minutes from me. And he's a bowl turner. That's what he does. He makes large bowls, and his bowls are absolutely exquisite. And I am not a bowl turner specifically on his caliber. However, I do my best when I turn a bowl to turn it that level. And that has enabled me to do some things that, like live, to do things live. I did this live on TikTok a year and a half ago. My parents sent me a burl for my birthday. I received the burl the morning of my birthday. I turned it live on my birthday on TikTok. This is a big leaf maple burl, and this piece is about the size of the piece of wood that I got. And I was able to take that piece of wood and see the inclusions and the, what was going on with the burl, and bring to life this bowl that is comparable to anything that Andrew makes, but completely different, and that's kind of what my goal is there are a lot of people who make bowls. There are a lot of people who make lidded boxes. There are a lot of people who turn pens. I want to make sure that mine's the best one that you've ever seen. I want to try to make sure that when you look at mine, you pick it up, you go, wow, I've never seen anything like that. But you've seen a million wooden bowls. But have you seen a wooden bowl like that?
Like you said, that's your time, that's your passion, and for you, that's a sense of what do I call it? When I sing, I like to tell people that that's my therapy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is. It's my therapy. It's what I call it productive mindfulness. If you've gone through counseling at the VA, you remember about 4 years ago they had this big mindfulness push. And then they said, oh, but mindfulness isn't really good for PTSD, which is bullshit. What mindfulness is concentrating on living in the moment.
Yes.
Belly button gazing. Well, you literally, when you have a piece of wood spinning at you at 1,500 RPM, you must maintain focus on that moment. You can't, your brain can't be 3,500 miles away in 1997. You can't do that or you'll get hurt. So here I am focused in the moment for long periods of time. But when I'm done, I walk away with a piece of art. So I call it productive mindfulness because it's very much a mindfulness technique. But at the same time, once it's finished, I have something to show for it.
You got to go. You're going beyond mindfulness. You're taking an element, and you're finding, like sometimes when you see artists work and you start seeing them kind of sketch, and you're kind of like, oh, what's happening here, But as you kind of get into it, have you ever gotten into like a project or when you're spinning, like something chipped off or didn't, like, I mean, I'm sure as you were learning, right? But as you're exposing, like you're exposing as you're removing layer after layer, right? Mm-hmm. You're exposing what something has naturally, and just you're exposing the beautiful.
Yeah. So there are woodturners who plan. They draw, and there are projects where you got to draw plans, you've got to make measurements. Don't get and segment
when you're commissioned.
Yeah. Well, and segmented turning, where you're actually cutting little pieces of wood and gluing them together and then turning them. That you have to sit and plan out. And I do some of that work, but there are also things where the wood just reveals to you what it wants to be. And this is probably the most
what it went through.
Yeah. This is probably the most perfect example. This is called the Eye of the Storm.
Wow.
This is spalted elm. This came from a tree that was cut down in Greensboro, North Carolina 2 years ago because it was dead. It was the fungus rot in it was killing the tree. And what I didn't know when I started this piece was that there was an eye here. Well, the way that the name of this piece came about is from the finial. This is a wood called holly. And I have a friend who lives up in Burlington, North Carolina, about an hour and a half away. And they have a source of holly that I don't have. I don't have a regular source. So I just messaged them and said, hey, do you have any holly laying around? I've got an idea. And they said, yeah, just come pick it up. They were in England doing a demonstration. They said, yeah, we'll leave it on the front porch. Come pick it up. So I got in my car at 4:30 in the morning that Hurricane Helene hit, drove to Burlington. I knew I was in front of the storm, picked up this wood and drove back, and the front edge of the storm hit the Piedmont Triad. As I was pulling in, the rain was just really starting. So the fact that there's an eye in this wood, and you really get a good cloudy imagery here, just named this piece the Eye of the Storm. And again, this finial was the whole reason I turned this piece to begin with, was because I wanted something to hold the finial that I had in my mind. And this is actually a hollow form. You could use this as an urn. A little trick. When you have really fine finials like this, I make them a friction fit. I don't glue them in so that you can transport it and it won't break. So that if you have to ship it or something, it'll still go in. And you can actually pick up the whole piece by it, but you can wrap it carefully and ship it and it won't break. So wood turners out there, there's just a little tip for you. But this is actually hollow. This could be used like as a pet urn. This piece just spoke to me. And that, like I said, you can pick the whole piece up by that finial. And that's just, that was something that came about because I didn't even know that was in there. And the piece named itself.
That's
We need to clip the
that was
Hollywood parts.
That was really cool. Thank you.
And holly is the whitest grained wood. It is the lightest wood.
At first, up until you got to the top part, I was like sitting here thinking, what is that? What's that part? I've got some fun questions for you.
All right.
You ready?
Sure.
Okay. If you were a type of wood, what would you be and why?
That's a good question. I don't know that I can pick one. Except that I would say that I would prefer
maybe you're a collage like your Eye of the Storm.
I would say that I would prefer to be a hardwood. Simply because they're dense like me.
Oh.
I get to be a little stubborn. I get stuck sometimes,
Okay. One more fun one. I two more fun ones. What's the most naughty situation you've ever turned your way out of?
Time I picked this up. This is cherry burl. This is wild cherry burl. This is a piece from a huge chunk of cherry that was given to me a couple of years ago from right in Lexington, North Carolina. And this stuff is, you never know when you pick up, and I'm still working away at this huge chunk of burl. I still have more parts of it to turn. And you never know when you pick this piece of cherry up, you just have no clue what's going to happen, what's going to come out of it. This is actually the bottom half. This was taller originally, but there was a bark inclusion in it. And I was working on it and turning it, and it just came apart and gave me this wonderful little, just nice little miniature hollow form. Cherry burl. It's got insect damage. It's got bark inclusion. It's got spalting. It's got cracks in it. I mean, it's just wild. It is one of the most expressive and beautiful pieces of wood, and one of the most challenging because you literally never know what's going to happen when you touch it with a gouge. You never know.
I'm going to give you kudos for that opportunity to show another piece, but I think you're dodging the real question. Anything that, like, even for someone that might be listening that, is seeing what you do, that may be curious, like the story of how you got into this.
How I got into this was actually while I was working on my first book. I actually drove across the country 5 times, back and forth, east to west, west to east and back, doing interviews of veterans for my first book, which is PTSDog, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder and Service Dog, right here.
Yes.
And out here in North Carolina, I met a veteran named Bob, and Bob wanted to ask me questions about service dogs. And so we met in Ashboro at the Denny's and had breakfast, drank coffee, and talked about service dogs. I had my service dog Skeeter with me. And Bob, as we're leaving, says, you ought to come out to the shop, because I was headed back to the West Coast, but I was getting ready to move here to North Carolina. He said, when you get back out here, you ought to come out to the shop. I'll show you some wood turning. It's really good for PTSD. And I kind of blew him off for a while, but finally one day he and I were talking on Facebook, and he's like, you really should come out to the shop. I'm like, fine. What's your address? I'll come out. And I went to his shop and I was there for at least 6 hours, and he put a bowl gouge in my hand, and I never looked back. That was what I was meant to do, is be a wood turner. And it does help with PTSD. Like I said, it's like mindfulness. You have no choice but to focus on exactly what's happening at that moment, or you will get hurt. And again, it's productive. When you walk away at the end of the day, you've made something. There's something there that's functional or beautiful. But think about, especially when you're struggling, when you're having a tough time, and things come in your head and they creep in, think about an opportunity to just stop everything for an hour to 2 hours to 4 hours or 5 hours, and just focus on what's in front of you and not have all that noise going on, because you just can't. You can't have that noise. It's hugely, hugely therapeutic. It really, really does. It gives you something to focus on that gets all that stuff that happened out of your head. And it's a really big deal because not a lot. I mean, even all the meds that they throw at you at the VA, they dull all that stuff, but they don't shut it up. Even a glass of bourbon at night, that dulls the noise, but it doesn't shut it up. Doing art, doing some kind of craft, especially where it's dangerous, because turning is dangerous. So you have to stay focused, because if you lose focus, you make a mistake and something comes flying at you. It really does give you relief from the noise that's going on in your head. It really does.
I mean, I can only imagine a piece coming flying off, and you're like, woo!
That's why we wear face shields. I've gotten to the point. I wear a face shield, and I turn
my beard.
I turn live on TikTok all the time. My beard actually saved me one time.
Really?
Turned live on TikTok all the time, and I had a piece explode and bounce off my face shield, and I've just pulled the gouge back, stopped the lathe, pulled my face shield up, and somebody in the comments was like, "Why aren't you jumping and yelling and hot?" And I'm like, I knew I was safe, I'm fine. I'm wearing a face shield. I understand, And they were like, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, that's how much peace and calm you get. I literally didn't flinch when the piece exploded and bounced right off of my face. It didn't bother me. Now, the beard rests right underneath the face shield. And I actually had a piece come hit my chest and bounce up and catch in my beard. It never even touched my chin. So the beard is actually a safety feature.
Oh my God. I can only, like you said, live. I got to one of your YouTube videos I watched. Mm-hmm. And at the very beginning, you were like, oh, this big like lightning storm just happened outside my, what do I call it? Your craft, your turning area, your shop. And you were like looking at the floor and kind of wondering, like, something about the conductive energy and like all your stuff and like not having that safety, like hearing you right away, like talk about like the vulnerability and seeing you such a force of nature. Like you're like, even what you express, like it's very it's alive, but I really was getting into that video, but I have another fun question. What wood turning tool would best describe your personality?
Wow.
I figured that would be a good way to learn about all the wood turning tools.
I was gonna say, you say cheeseburger, we believe him. I mean, we
don't get me started on cheeseburgers. What wood turning tool?
Hell, we wouldn't even know the name of it, even if you said it.
I should. Well, if I'd have known you were going to ask that question, I would have it here. It's out in the shop. I have a 5/8 inch bowl gouge that I made the handle of. In fact, there's a YouTube video of it, me making the handle for my gouge. That thing is probably the one piece of equipment aside from the lathe that gets used the most in my shop. Is I reach for that gouge, and there's a couple of reasons. First of all, at a 5/8 inch is the now this is the American measurement. We call it a 5/8 inch bowl gouge. The English would call it a 1/2 inch. The flute in the center is a 1/2 inch wide. The actual shaft of the tool is 5/8 inches. 5/8 inches, just over 1/2 an inch thick of steel, is extremely solid. It doesn't vibrate very easily. It's just a good amount of weight to really keep the tool grounded while you're working with it. But at the same time, with that 1/2 inch flute and the way that I sharpen the gouge, I am capable of extremely fine cuts. So it can go from heavy, just hogging out large masses of wood to creating what I call angel hair shavings that are so fine they're as fine as my beard hair with the same tool. So I would say that the capacity that I've developed with that tool has developed that same kind of capacity within me. I can be as blunt as a club, but I can also be as fine as the hair on my face.
That was great. You explained a lot about your personality right there. You're secure. You're a secure person to go to. And you can handle a heavy job. When you explained about the part that you're securing it, right? And then you're detail oriented.
Oh, yeah. Nate kind of beat that into me, Most of us service members were detail oriented.
But
we'll hold those underwear the right way.
Well, I'll tell you how I feel on you is the passion that you have when you talk with veterans, because there was a couple of times that I was in a dark place and you reached out and you helped me. Bo has helped me. War Dog has helped me. Just your empathy, towards other veterans. It's something that I look up to, and I don't think people talk about that enough. And I just want to express to you how I feel.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's important. I've got a lot of frustration with the veteran community. But at the same time, I'm never going to turn my back away from the community that reached out and embraced me and helped me begin to become who I am. And one of those things, DV Radio gave me a voice when I was working on the book, where I was literally just shouting in the dark. I was a voice in the wilderness. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody cared. And I kept bugging DV Radio, and I kept bugging disgruntled vets at the time. They had a radio show on DV Radio, and it kept posting on their pages and kept bugging him. And finally, Nevermore from Disgruntled was like, we got to get this guy on the show to get him to shut up. And that opened the door to Bo inviting me on to Barracks Talk. And that started to help me build momentum for the book. And if I hadn't been working on that book, the reason I wrote the book was the books about service dogs are not my passion. I was a journalist in the Navy. My job was to research and report back and to write and present things in a way that even Marines could understand. That was my job. When I saw the complete lack of understanding and knowledge about what a service dog is and what you're supposed to do when you have one in the veteran community back 10 years ago, I felt like, well, nobody else is addressing it, and I have the skills, so I'm going to do it. And I did. I attacked it. I tackled it aggressively and did what I did, but that wasn't where who I am was at. It wasn't until I met Bob and he got me in front of a lathe that I really discovered where all that energy that I was using it. And I'm writing a third book right now. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't want to be an author, but that was my job. That was my vocation. This is my passion. This is what reaches the deepest parts of me and gives me satisfaction is turning, is the artwork that I create on the lathe. That's where the book didn't heal me, but meeting Bob, making friends, and learning the art is where the healing really started to come into play.
I admire Bob's persistence.
Let me tell you about, we should talk. We should bring Bob up. Are we live on TikTok? Because there are words I have to. Okay.
Not on TikTok.
No, we're
on
not live on
Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook.
Let me talk to you about Bob. Bob is a good friend. Bob's a United States Army veteran. Bob was a sniper, and Bob was active in Panama. And Bob saw and did things that were very difficult. And Bob would always tell me, if you're having struggles, or he's my best friend. I talk to him almost every day. He would tell me, if you're having struggles, if you're having trouble, pick up your phone. Pick up your phone. Don't do something stupid. Give me a call. Pick up your phone. I'm an hour away. We'll meet you halfway, whatever. Pick up your phone. Bob didn't follow his own advice. Bob reached for his 45 instead of his phone. And he ended up attempting to commit suicide by cop. Thankfully, the Randolph County Sheriff's Department had a very competent sniper who shot Bob in the shoulder, and they were able to subdue him and get him under arrest. But unfortunately, because Bob reached for his 45 instead of his cell phone, he's going to die in prison. They threw the book at it. And it's an absolute shame. And Bob and I have had this conversation, and Bob knows I tell this story. Bob is okay with it because he says, you're right. I was stupid and I should have taken my own advice. I should have picked up my phone because I wasn't the only person he could have called. He developed a veteran community. He taught me to develop a veteran community and support group. He's where I learned to do it from. And then he didn't follow his own advice. He tried to commit suicide by cop. I am glad he failed. However, I talk to him from prison every day, and I will never be able to sit down across a table in Denny's from my best friend and have a cup of coffee and tell stupid jokes and shoot the shit again. And Bob and I have had this conversation over and over about what a dumbass he is. And he says, yes, I'm a dumbass. I made the wrong decision. And that's why he asks me to share his story he says, warn people, don't let them do what I did. Tell them to be smarter than I was. And that's one of the things we say on Barracks Talk. Don't be Bob.
Oh, wow.
Pick up the phone, reach out. Don't reach for the gun. Reach for your phone. Reach for your battle. Reach for your service dog. I was at a point where I was very seriously contemplating opening my wrists. And thank God my service dog Skeeter was there. And I reached for my dog instead of my knife. And I'm still here today.
Is Skeeter your current?
Skeeter is passed. He's been gone for about 2 years.
I heard some ear slapping.
Well, okay. So
I'm
we have about a 17-year-old little pibble named Jingle Bell. She's an absolute sweetheart. And if I had got a hold of her 10 or 12 years ago, she would have been an incredible service dog. I have a 5-year-old English Mastiff named Munchie, who was supposed to be Skeeter's successor. However, Mastiffs have some interesting personality traits, including being afraid of their own shadows. But we now have in fact, he will turn a year old on the 11th. We have an American XL American bully named Dr. Bruce Banner. And Bruce is weighing in at more than 100 pounds. And unfortunately, and he's really, really smart.
Oh,
but he also right now is all vibes,
like,
no thoughts.
Out of my face.
He is very much a puppy, and he's all vibe, no thoughts right now.
You're not exactly looking like your sibling.
He is actually.
Yeah, somebody's saying, I just adopted Dr. Bruce.
Yeah, Dr. Bruce Banner. Bruce is a good dog, or Pooty Head, as we call him.
But hey, JJ, we're running out of time. We have to play the tribute to Trip here soon, and we want to give that moment to you. It's your time to shine.
Today's Time to Shine is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, veterans, and first responders. Runs on Dunkin'.
This is your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine.
All right, well, JJ, this is your time to shine. This is where you get a 2-minute platform to say whatever you want.
Okay.
Anything.
If you remember a joke from hanging out with your buddy that you can tell.
I was going to say that I could tell in public. I don't know. I would like to urge you all to check out my various platforms. I'm on the Tube of Views, Juatai Woodturning, Instagram, Faceplace, TikTok. Like I said, I stream live regularly on TikTok. It's funny because Bo absolutely hates TikTok, but I've been on YouTube for years, and I have been on TikTok for a few years now too. However, I've built more of a following and an audience faster on TikTok than grinding in long form videos on YouTube. And that's not to say that YouTube isn't a valid place to build, but return on investment, I get more out of TikTok than I do YouTube. And it didn't used to be that way. And all of the woodturners who I look up to built their platforms on YouTube. But things are changing. And part of my mission is to reach younger people, because you're right. There is that young person who is not going to go to college and is not, and is looking at the trades, and for whom learning about wood turning might open up an entire universe to them. And that's who I want to reach. There's plenty of old guys. There's a kind of a saying in the woodworking community that I'm not old enough to own a lathe yet. We got to break that mindset. Gatekeeping, their trade secrets. We've got to break that mindset. That's the reason why artisans and craftsmanship is dying. It's because of that attitude of, well, I'm not old enough to do that. You got, or I'm not sharing my secrets, that gatekeeping. We've got to break that. And the only way that we can break that is by setting the example. I specifically made the decision to have a presence on TikTok because I know that's a way to reach younger generation. When I go to a woodturning club meeting, I'm at the low end of the age spectrum. There's maybe 2 or 3 people in their 40s, then in their 50s and up is the predominant membership. There is almost never someone in their 20s. Almost never. I went to the North Carolina Woodturning Symposium in 2023, and aside from 2 of the presenters who were in their 20s, there was exactly one audience member, one person in attendance who was under 40 years old. Everybody else was 40 and up. Wood turning will die as an art in this country if we do not break that. And that's why I'm on TikTok.
It's time for you to leave a legacy.
Yeah. And it's not even that. It's that if we don't reach out to these younger generations with open arms and welcoming and teaching with no strings attached, I'm glad to show you. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Here, let me show you. That's one of the most powerful tools TikTok gives me, is the opportunity when somebody has a question, I can say, oh, let me show you, because it's all right there in front of me live.
And you said it, you're reaching a younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, you can see your passion. The first time I popped up your website, that's all I saw with the glow in that bowl. And you are something to be valued. And what you're saying right now is a great message. I want to thank you so much for coming on this show today.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you.
And I
much.
can't wait to have you back.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so glad you're in my network, JJ.
You bet. Anytime. Let me know. Like I said, check us out on Barracks Talk on Saturday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern.
I've got your email.
Yep.
I'm going to be in touch. And you are definitely, I could tell now I see the journalist in you for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Once again, everybody, that is JJ. He is a DV radio influencer. Thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Influencer.
Everybody else, it is that time. It is the tribute to the troops.
Detail attention.
First call. The service member's name is called out loud in the context of a unit. This is meant to ensure all are present and accounted for. Second call. The name is called out again, louder, to confirm that the service member is indeed absent. Third call. The name is called out for a final time, followed by a statement indicating that the service member is not present and accounted for, signifying their death. The final roll call serves as a symbolic gesture to respect and remember their service.
Sir, I don't know how to tell this story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to Judge Frank Caprio, age 88. Judge Caprio was born on Federal Hill in Providence, Rhode Island on November 24, 1936, to Italian immigrant parents Antonio and Filomena Caprio. Caprio attended Providence Public Schools while working as a dishwasher and a shoe shiner. He graduated from Central High School, where he won the state title in wrestling in 1953. He joined the Rhode Island Army National Guard, serving from 1954 until 1962 in the 876 Combat Engineer Battalion. He was assigned to Camp Barnum in Narragansett, Rhode Island, and Fort Indiantown Gap in East Hanover Township, Pennsylvania. Caprio earned a bachelor's degree in 1958 from Providence College. In 1962, at age 25, he won an upset victory by defeating the long-serving Providence City Council president. He remained active in politics throughout his life on the local, state, and national level, mentoring and helping candidates and elected officials. After graduating, he began teaching American government at Hope High School in Providence. While teaching at Hope, Caprio attended night school at Suffolk University School of Law in Boston, earning his law degree in 1965. Frank was recommended to serve as judge on the Providence Municipal Court by Mayor Joseph Paulino Jr. in 1985. He served on the bench for 38 years. His courtroom gained global fame through the 4-time Emmy-nominated television show Caught in Providence. The program was the brainchild of his wife Joyce and his brother Joseph. Filming court sessions began in 1992 and proceedings aired on Rhode Island Public Access Cable TV and ABC 6 until 2016, when the program became nationally syndicated on over 200 stations. Judge Caprio's sincere compassion and humanity led him to becoming known as the nicest judge in the world, amassing over 26 million social media followers, more than 10 billion video views. In February 2025, at age 88, he published a best-selling memoir, Compassion in the Courtroom, Life-Changing Stories from America's Nicest Judge. His national publicity tour included sold-out book signings and major media appearances. He also was sought after for speaking engagements at legal and humanitarian events worldwide, including most recently in Italy, United Emirates, Arab Emirates, and as the recipient of Mother Teresa Award for Social Justice in India. In May of 2025, he gave the commencement address at Providence College, earning a standing ovation for his message of leaving the ladder down to help others rise. Judge Frank Caprio died August 20th, 2025, after fighting pancreatic cancer at the age of 88. Judge Caprio leaves his wife of 62 years, Joyce, 5 children, 7 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren, and his brother Joseph. We here at NBR would like to thank you, Judge Frank Caprio, for your service and dedication to our country. You leave a legacy of love and courage. Our prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside you. You are truly missed.
Bell decal, pinted, ready.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey, from the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Big thanks to all the patriots and viewers out there.
Hey, catch us next Friday where we speak with.
Oh, we're going to talk to Mama Bird. It's going to be
Right.
the admissions director from Colorado Media School. And the thing I'm going to love is everybody's going to be chatting about it. So really quick, what we learned?
I learned
Really
that
quick.
wood turning is pretty dangerous.
I need to do better at reading stuff.
Well, I learned a lot that we're going to have a new fun sound at about 9:30 on the hour. Wait for it.
What's that sound?
Wait for it.
Or-
Oh, did you like
or
my
do
face?
we want a happier sound?
Wait, do it again because I want to do the face.
That's exactly what they do in SpongeBob too. And
Big thank you to JJ for coming out.
Yeah.
HG, what'd you learn?
You pick up the phone.
There you go.
Right. Want to thank everyone for listening.
Yes.
And I hope you're relaxing and chillaxing with an umbrella drink on Monday. My hope for you.
And remember, everybody, here at MBR, you know what we always say, we're here for you, not for us. We're giving them veterans a voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.